Have that discussion, I'm afraid, about Eskom, and we're going to continue to do so as we are stage 4 blackouts at the moment. If you've just joined us, good morning. Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan is going to be restructuring the Eskom board. Yay, I hear you say. Is it going to make a difference, though, as we all continue to battle with these rolling blackouts? Yesterday, the power utility implementing what is now stage 4, some people accusing the authorities of not doing enough to tackle the Eskom crisis head-on. So let's see if we can have that conversation head-on. I'm joined by Black Business Council CEO Kganki Matabane, making time to join us this morning. Kganki, good to have you back on eNCA. So first of all, let's talk about political will. It's our viewer question this morning. Is there political will to keep our lights on? Good morning.
Morning, Gareth and the viewers. When you talk about the will, we talk about the will of the shareholder. So when you're a shareholder and you have a company that is not performing, you firstly have to do a proper analysis. And analysis should look at the company itself, look at the leadership that you have, and look at whether you've given them enough time. And globally, and this is not our creation, globally, when a CEO reaches 1 year and that CEO is not performing, the shareholders, especially of private companies, they start a conversation with the CEO and say, but you were brought here to do 1, 2, 3, and the 1, 2, 3 is not happening. So maybe it's time for you to consider other options because you are failing here. We as the shareholders, we need to find someone to replace you who's more capable. And then when you look at the CEO of Eskom and the COO, they've been there for almost 3 years. And in that 3 years, what we were expecting, hence we welcomed the appointment of the Eskom CEO, because our expectations were not necessarily high, but we're saying at least if he can stabilize the system. We're not even looking for improving the system. We're saying if he can stabilize the system, and then we have load shedding for a certain period. We even gave him 2 years. So say if you continue with this load shedding for 2 years, and then at least we know after 2 years there will be that certainty, and companies can plan proper. And unfortunately, that did not happen. So hence we are saying the shareholder should then should have taken a decision long time ago to say, yeah. But the CEO, you're not performing, and then if you're not performing, then you must leave. But we're including the board in this thing because the board, ideally, in a normal environment, the board is supposed to hold the CEO to account. So when the CEO agrees and say, I'm here, my job is to make sure that there's electricity in South Africa, the board should continuously, on a quarterly basis, evaluate and say, but you are not here. So you are here, you're getting paid every month, but there's no electricity in the country. The economy is suffering, small businesses are closing down, the unemployment, the already high unemployment rate, which is record high, is increasing. So we had COVID on the other side, but if you look at all the figures that were released by State SA about the economic growth, we are actually basically everything is going down.
Yeah, it's all going down, isn't it, Kganki? Because of many people are blaming Eskom. I'm not sure if that's fair to blame everything entirely on Eskom. There are other factors involved as well. You mentioned the board. Let me ask you this. First of all, first part of my question is, do you think the restructuring of the board is going to make a difference? And then we're also hearing reports this morning that there has been a resignation as well. I see it's being reported online that Busima Vuso has already jumped ship. What do you make of both of those questions?
Yeah, our issue is never about individuals. It's about the skills. So we were saying when you run an electrical engineering company, there must be engineers in the board, because when the management come to present solutions or potential solutions to the board, what type of questions are the board asking if they can't even understand basic things? So, for example, the electricity generation has got characteristics. For example, we've got what is called base load, and it's only coal, nuclear, and gas that is called base load. So when someone comes and say, with this solar will be able to solve load shedding. If you don't have that basic understanding of characteristics of technology, you're just going to agree and say, no, solar will solve our problem. Hence, we're sitting where the board is not able to hold the CEO and the CEO accountable because they've got no understanding of how to generate electricity.
Some people are saying it's like the blind leading the blind. You have people on the board who aren't experts trying to make decisions. It's like the blind leading the blind. Do you know it all? Because you're a man with your ear to the ground, very involved in business in SA. Do you know? Can you confirm if Busi Mavuso has resigned? Have you heard anything?
No, we haven't had anything. We only heard that there's going to be a reconstitution of the board. Maybe she may have heard that she's not going to be reappointed and she left. But for us, again, it's not about individuals, it's about the skills. We need to have proper skills at any institution so that people can ask the relevant question. So you've got the CEO, who's not an engineer, who comes to report to the people who are not engineers. What type of questions are they asking? And we've been asking the minister all these questions to say, as the representative of the shareholder, you need to make sure that the board is strong enough, independent enough, skilled enough, experienced enough, so that they can hold the executive accountable. And they can then be able to fire the CEO if the CEO is not doing anything. But if they themselves don't know.
Kganki, let me ask you this last question very briefly. We've spoken about the board. Just as I say goodbye to you, forgive me, we're a little tight on time. Should the minister also be restructured, re-looked at? Should that ministry and the minister himself also be changed?
Yeah, for us, I think we don't want to get into politics. We are interested in the professionals because the boards are professional people and the CEOs and management are professional people. Those are the people that are brought there because of their skills, not because of politics. Those are the people who are supposed to do the work. If they don't do the work, then they must go. The politics, I think, is a different discussion that we should have one day. But we are more interested in the people, professionals, business people who are there, who are supposed to make sure that they are appointed to make sure that South Africa has got electricity, and they must make sure that the electricity is there. It's not there now. We were almost the laughingstock of the whole world because people cannot come and invest in South Africa. So we are not going to be able to create the jobs that we want because who's going to invest? Even local investors. How do you invest in a country like this where, 7 hours in a day, you are not productive?
Yeah, your money is literally vanishing into the darkness, isn't it? I think it's the sentiment of some investors at the moment, having spoken to some business people over the past few weeks. Kganki, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning. Black Business Council CEO, Kganki Matabane. We're back.